Hello everybody, namaste. Thank you for joining me. For today's yoga practice, I wanted to do what I would consider a full body awakening. Not everybody has the privilege, the opportunity, or even the time out of their day to go take a 60 or 75-minute yoga class. So what I would like to do for today is shorten it down a little bit and do enough movements to open up all of the energy channels in the body, targeting all the muscle groups, but still giving you enough time to fit it into your daily routine and still feel like you have moved your entire body and feel nice and warmed up and ready for the day ahead of you. So, we want to get started in a nice comfy seat, whatever feels most comfortable, secure for you. A nice comfy easy seat always works, the legs crossed. And once you've arrived, gotten all the fidgets out, start to close down the eyes. And we're just going to take a moment to ground down and tune in with ourselves. And just start to become aware of your breath. No need to change it or judge it. Just noticing it. You can always bring the hands to the body, which I like to do, placing one hand on the heart and one hand on the belly. That way you can really feel the breath as it enters and exits the body. Breathing in through the nose, filling up that belly, the chest. And then exhaling through the nose or mouth. And feeling those hands slowly deflate back in towards the body. And just continuing that pattern, breathing in, nourishing breath, filling up the entire body. And exhale, letting it go. Releasing anything you are holding onto, any tension in the body. And through these breaths, we're just becoming in tune with ourselves and where we're at, where our starting point is today. Inhaling to the bottom of the belly, ribs, lungs, heart, and exhale, letting it all go. Cultivating right now through our breaths a sense of safety and security and comfort within our own bodies, within ourselves. Noticing and feeling the breath at whatever pace and rhythm that is for you today. I'm just going to take a few more breaths here. Really just becoming in tune with yourself. Noticing the rise and fall of the belly, the chest, and noticing your own heartbeat. And when you're ready, releasing the hands, keeping the eyes open or closed, whatever feels best for you. And we're just gonna drop that chin in towards the chest, opening up the back of the neck. And continuing to breathe here. When you're ready, bringing that chin over, ear on top of right shoulder. Feeling the stretch in the left side of the neck. With that next breath, let it carry that chin back in towards the chest, and then left ear on top of left shoulder. You can even take that right hand and walk it out to the side a little bit. Feeling the nice opening here. And taking that next breath, bringing the chin back in towards the chest. This time bringing the chin to your shoulder. Stretching just a slightly different part of the neck here. Again, you can always walk those fingertips a little bit out towards the side. Traveling that chin back in towards center and taking it on the left side. Left chin to left shoulder. And now you can take the time, whatever feels most comfortable for you. You can take some half circles. You take some full circles, being careful not to collapse into the back of the neck. Taking some free movements here. And taking those circles the opposite direction. Drawing a circle with your chin here. Bringing that neck back into a nice neutral position. With the inhale, I want you to bring those shoulders all the way up in towards your ears, crunching them up. Then exhale, release. Do that 3 more times. Inhale, bringing those shoulders up to the ears, and exhale, release. Good. Inhale up, exhale. One more time, inhale up, exhale, release. Good. Then we're gonna inhale, lifting both arms up and towards the sky. I want you to drop that left hand to the earth and reach all the way to the left with that right hand, really grounding that right hip into the earth. Just continuing to breathe. Walking the hand, traveling that right hand to the earth, tracing them both out in front of you until we make it to the right side. Reaching that left arm all the way to the right, grounding that left hip down into the earth. You can do that a couple more times, traveling to each side, really opening that heart towards the sky, and then closing it off back to the earth. And following these movements to the pace of your own breath, inhaling and exhaling back to the front, and then inhaling that arm up towards the sky. when you feel nice and complete, coming back to center, I want us to lift both arms towards the sky once again, and we're gonna do a nice easy twist here. So twisting to the left, dropping that right hand onto the left knee, and putting those left hands behind you, tenting those fingertips. On the inhale, I want you to think about sitting up nice and tall, creating space. And on that exhale, looking over that left shoulder, twisting just a little bit deeper. Don't forget to breathe here. Inhaling back to center, and now twisting to the right, bringing that left hand onto that right knee, tenting those right fingertips behind you. Inhale, sitting up nice and tall, creating space in the spine. Exhale, twisting just a little bit deeper. Good, and inhaling back to center. We're gonna do a couple seated cat-cows. You can always do this in tabletop as well as seated. We're gonna take a nice inhale, pushing that heart forward, lifting the chin up towards the sky, arching the back here. And then the exhale, bring that chin in towards the chest, tucking that tailbone down, drawing your shoulder blades out and around. And following the pace of your own breath, again, inhaling forward. Exhale, cat. And now seated, different seated stretches like this that we've done up until this point are always great to just take on their own. You can even do sitting at your desk at work, in the car if you have 5 minutes to spare. Little gentle, subtle movements like this that really open up the spine, help alleviate with back pain. You don't need to have a whole hour-long yoga session to just take a couple nice seated cat-cows throughout your day. And now we can also take those in a nice circle. So inhaling forward and taking it to the left first. You can even close your eyes here. And just follow your own intuition wherever feels best. And now taking it to the right. Really tucking that tailbone down and then sticking it out behind you. And when you feel nice and complete, coming back to center, we're gonna transition over onto our knees and we're gonna find a nice comfy child's pose. You can always do that with the knees in together or knees out wide, big toes to touch. And then just slowly start to walk the hands forward and dropping that forehead onto the earth. I want you to really think about melting your heart down into the mat. Just continue to cultivate that nourishing breath here. Inhale, nourishing, filling up that whole body. And on the exhale, fully release. And trust that the earth is holding you and that you are safe. And you can even take some inhales through the nose and sighing breaths out through the mouth, really releasing it all, audible sighs. When you feel ready, coming out of child's pose, finding our tabletop, curling the toes under, and we're gonna lift those knees up off the earth and send those hips up and back, finding downward facing dog. Now's always a good time if you wanna pedal out your feet. Start to really warm up those legs. And you can even experiment here and finding what feels good for you. Really melting that heart down, sticking the tailbone up and towards the sky. The reminder that your heels do not have to be on the earth completely. You can always be up on your toes. You can even have a slight bend in those knees if that feels good. We're going to take our time, as many steps as it takes, slowly walking to the top of the mat until you find yourself in a nice forward fold. You can always grab for opposite elbows, sway from side to side. You can bring your feet to touch or widen the stance, whatever feels best for you and your body. On that next inhale, we're going to take our time, rising nice and slow, all the way up to standing, rolling those shoulders up and back, head comes up last. And we're going to find ourselves into Tadasana, mountain pose, closing down the eyes, turning the palms of the hands to face forward, reconnecting with your breath here. You can even lift up all 10 toes, really grounding down through the four corners of your feet before exhaling, releasing the toes. We're going to take some nice half sun A's here. So on the inhale, I want you to lift both arms up and towards the sky. Gaze follows. And on the exhale, swan diving the arms, hinging at the hips, finding that forward fold. Inhale, lifting up halfway, flat back, sticking that tailbone back, crown of the head goes forward. And exhale, release, forward fold. Inhale, root to rise. Urdhva Hastasana, then exhale, hands to heart center, Samastiti, beautiful. And taking that a couple more times to the pace of your own breath, however slow and fast that may be. Inhaling up and towards the sky. Exhale, forward folding, hands to the earth. Inhale, halfway lift, flat back. Exhale, release, back down to the earth. And inhale, root to rise, gaze to the sky, and hands to heart center, Samastitihi. We're gonna take that 3 more times. Inhale, arms up towards the sky, feeling the opening in the side bodies. Exhale, swan dive to the earth. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. Inhaling, root to rise. And hands to heart center, Samastitihi. Beautiful, 2 more times. Following your own body's pace and rhythm. Beautiful. And if that is all the time that you have for yourself today, that is perfect. That is beautiful. I would be proud. I am proud of you. You should be proud of yourself. If you wanted to take it a little bit further and start to warm up the legs, again, any of those movements that we have done up until this point are great to just incorporate throughout the day if you have 5 minutes here and there. Doesn't always have to be a full sit down, perfect practice. But we're going to come back to the top of our mat where we're standing in Tadasana. Good. And what I want us to do is I want us to step back, placing all that weight into the right foot, lifting up the left, and stepping that foot back, dropping the knee down, and finding ourselves in a low lunge. Now in this low lunge, no need to push all the way to your max right away. Take your time with every exhale, pushing a little bit deeper until you find where your edge is. I want you to think about taking that right hip back, left hip forward, tucking the tailbone down, navel in and up, and then slowly start to bend more into that front knee. You can always place your hands on top of that right thigh. If you'd like to bring them up alongside the ears, traditional Anjaneyasana asana. Feel that stretch in that front left hip flexor, the psoas muscle. And when you're ready, straightening that front leg, lifting up the toes, flexing them towards the face, finding half splits. Really opening up that hamstring and the calf here, always inviting a nice micro bend in that knee if that feels good for you. And this is always a time too, if you had any blocks or even like water bottles, whatever you have at home or around you, if it's not comfortable coming all the way to the ground, you can always prop yourself up. You can even bring the hands onto the hips, whatever feels best in your body. And now if you'd like, you can even flow back and forth between the two. Inhaling into Anjaney, and then exhaling into half splits. Or just enjoy a nice static hold. I love a lot of the breath to movements. Feels like a nice moving meditation. And then when you're ready, coming back into that runner's lunge, I want you to heel toe that right foot out to the side on a nice 45-degree angle with the toes turning out. This is a nice lizard variation to really open up those inner hips or inner thighs. Again, you can always prop yourself up to be a little bit higher. If it's in your ability, you can always come down onto the forearms if you have a nice solid yoga practice already, you can always tent up onto those left fingertips, bend for that back knee, and reach for that left foot with your right hand. Really pressing hand into foot, foot into hand, giving yourself a nice shoulder opener here, and twisting that heart towards the sky. Whatever variation calls to you. And now we're going to transition into Malasana, Yogi Squat. So if you want, you can place both hands onto the earth, pick up that back knee, and pushing that weight into that right foot, lifting up the left, bringing it forward, or just transitioning however feels best for you. Bring the feet a little bit further than hips distance apart, toes turned out to the side on a nice 45-degree angle. And this is a great pose that anybody can do. You can always sit on something as well. Sit on a pillow, you know? If this isn't comfortable for you, find whatever feels best. Sitting up higher, and even just sit on a chair if you'd like. Pushing the knees out to the side so we can get that inner thigh stretch. Now you can bring the hands to the heart center here. You can bring them to the earth. You can even take a nice side little twist here. Taking one hand to the sky, one to the earth. And this is your time, your practice. Find what feels best for you, and that can change day to day. One day you might be craving something different than the next. Your body might be craving something different. So just listen to that. Listen to your own body's intuition here during this practice. Lifting the heart up, not collapsing. And when you're ready, coming back to standing. You can even shake out the legs. And we're going to take that on the other side. So we're going to place all of that weight to the left foot this time, picking up the right, stepping it back, dropping that back knee down, and finding our runner's lunge, Anjaneyasana. Sending that left hip back, right hip forward. And again, taking your time. No need to rush into this. With every inhale, you create a little extra space in the body that allows you on that exhale to bend a little bit deeper. Once again, just like we did on the other side, straightening that front leg, finding our half splits here. This is your time, your practice. Have fun with it. Find what feels good for you. Feel a nice stretch in that hamstring here in these half splits. When you're ready, rebending into that front knee, heel toeing that left foot out to the side in a nice 45-degree angle. And again, whichever variation feels best for you, you can try them all out. You can always even just place one hand, that left hand on that left thigh, opening up the heart to the left. Again, you can always grab for that back foot. or you can just enjoy a nice hip opener as it is here. And in lizard lunge, I want you to think about pressing that left knee in towards the body a little bit. You always have the option to open it up a little bit further, coming onto the knife edge of that foot. Otherwise, just pressing that knee into your shoulder. And once again, transitioning to Malasana, however it takes you to get there. And finding our way to the top of the mat. Beautiful. And it's always fun too, in a lot of these poses, to close your eyes down. That way you can really become in tune with yourself and have that opportunity to listen to your body and let it tell you what it wants. Really feeling grounded down. Got the bottom of that tailbone down in towards the earth with the heart opened up wide in front of you. Not collapsing here, but opening. Good, and then finding our way just onto a nice seat, extending the legs out in front of you. You can even tap them out here. Good. Sitting up nice and tall. Take a moment to point, flex the toes. We're just gonna take one more forward fold. Sitting up nice and tall, creating space in the spine. Then exhaling to a forward fold. This might be your fold today. It does not have to be chest all the way to your thighs in order for you to benefit from this posture. So taking it to wherever your edge is. And another reminder too, you can always sit up on something, a pillow, a blanket, a block, to elevate those hips to make it a little bit easier and more comfortable for you and your body. You can do that in any of the seated postures. Rising back up, we're gonna make our way onto our backs to close out today's practice. Bringing both knees into the chest, giving yourself a nice big hug, a moment of self-love here. Just rolling out the back. You can roll from side to side. Give yourself some nice low back massage with some circles here. You can straighten those legs towards the sky for a nice little waterfall for a moment, pointing and flexing the toes. Bringing the knees back into the chest, we're going to take a nice supine twist. So bringing those knees over to the right first. You can straighten that left hand, gazing over to the left side. Now again, for supine twist, you can take any variation that feels best for you. You can bring both knees over to one side. You can just bring that left knee in towards the chest and bring it across to the right. Even place again a pillow or something underneath your knees if they don't touch the earth perfectly, that's okay. Or even a pillow between the knees if that feels comfortable for you. You can straighten that left arm out or cactus it, bending that elbow. just continuing to find awareness with your breath. And bringing both knees back into center and taking a twist to the other side, bringing those knees over to the left this time. If you need to always adjust your hips, you can bring them back closer to center. We want both hips stacked on top of each other here. And gazing towards the right. Bringing both knees back into center. And giving yourself one nice final hug here. You can even lift up the head, coming into a nice tight little ball, and thanking yourself and your body for today's practice. Before exhaling, releasing into Shavasana, corpse pose. Again, if you're home, you can get all comfy with some pillows and some blankets. I always like putting something under the knees, can feel nice too, to help alleviate that gap in the lower back. Again, just finding what feels comfortable for you. Allowing yourself to release and relax and trusting the earth is holding you. Using this time to allow the work that you have done today to integrate into the body and into the nervous system. starting to come back into the space that you're in, into your body. Staying in Shavasana as long as you'd like. You are more than welcome to. Otherwise, we're going to wrap it up, starting to invite gentle movements back to the body, wiggling the fingers and the toes, until you feel ready to bend those knees, bringing them both to one side into a nice comfy fetal position. You can use your bicep as a pillow here. Then inhaling, coming back up to a nice comfy seat, keeping the eyes closed. Noticing your body and how it feels now versus the beginning of today's practice. Feeling a moment of gratitude for yourself for showing up. When you're ready, we're going to close off the practice by inhaling the arms up and towards the sky, bringing left and right hands to touch, and slowly bringing them down into heart center. And again, just thanking yourself for showing up today. And giving yourself a moment of self-love and self-gratitude. Om Shanti, Om Peace. Thank you guys so much. You can even give yourself a nice little hug for that one. Well, that was perfect timing because I'm starting to feel some raindrops. So enjoy the rest of your day, everybody. I love you all. Mwah.